All right, so in geometry, we are talking about transformations. That is when an image changes in some way. The transformations we are looking at right now, the image preserves its shape. So its size, the length of the sides, the angles created do not change. These are called rigid motions, rigid movements. And the one we're going to review right now is called translation, okay? A translation is simply when the image slides to a new position in the coordinate plane, okay? So it may start here and slide diagonally. It may start here, slide horizontally. There's another diagonal. There's a vertical movement. But the shape of the image does not change, okay? All right, so let's look at this one right here as an example. I've gone ahead and put down and plotted the points and drawn the image given to us, rhombus ABCD. Now, this is called the pre-image. So the image that you begin with is known as the pre-image, and the new image that you get after the translation is going to be called the image. Now, for translations, we are given a function notation, and that is what this right here is. If I can underline it, this is our function notation. Basically, this tells us what to do with our points. If you'll remember, every point has an X and a Y, okay? So you're going to take your points from your pre-image, and you are going to apply the function notation to them to give you new points. So let's look at the first one together. My original point of my pre-image is -3, -2. So which point is the X in point A? Is it -3 or -2? Which one's the X? It's -3. So my function notation tells me that for my X, I need to add 2 to find my new point for my image. Okay, so what is -3 plus 2? Good. Hope you said -1. Okay, now for all of these points, I would go to each X and I would add 2 because that's what my function for this particular problem tells me to do, okay? So let's look at the Y. For point A, my Y is -2. What does the function notation tell me that I need to do to my Y coordinate? It tells me I need to subtract 6. So -2 minus 6, what's my new point going to be? Good, -8. Okay, so let's look at this on the coordinate plane. Now remember, always start at 0, 0. I'm going to go to the left 1 unit, because that's my X. Remember, go left or right first. Then I'm going to go down 8 units, because that's my Y. So 1 unit. And make sure you're counting to the next line. You know, don't count in the middle of the box. 1, okay? Then down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whoops, 6, 7, 8. All right, now this is gonna be my image, and I indicate my image with this little, it looks like an apostrophe or a little 1 over the top, and that stands for A prime. You'll notice over here, all your new points have that apostrophe. Okay? All right, so if I drew out all of these points, what I would see is that my pre-image slid diagonally down and made a new image. All right? So I want you to pause the video, and I want you to try to do your other points by yourself. I'm going to do them, and I'm going to draw it, but I want you to try and do it by yourself. All right. Here are all my points. And if you'll see, this image, pre-image here, and it slid down to the new spot, the new image, okay? Here are my points, +2, -6. I did that to every X and every Y. Another way you could do this, if I went to my first point A and I said +2, counted over 1, 2, -6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There is my new point. But there are times when you won't be able to graph it. So you've got to know how to do the function notation, okay? All right, let's look at another example. Let's look at this one down here at the bottom. Let's look at this example. This tells me that my X and my Y, my original points, which here they are, here are my original points of my image. To get a pre-image, this is the function notation. So what does it mean right here? X. What does that mean for my X coordinate when I'm going from my pre-image to my image? What do you think that means? Right, it's not going to change. So from my original point to my new point, I'm not going to change that at all. So S prime, my X, is going to be the same as my S, -6. Look at your Y. What happens in this translation to your Y? Good, you add 7. So what is -5 plus 7? I hope you said 2. If you don't remember those integer rules, you need to look them up. If you have the same sign, like back here we had the same sign, we had -6 and -2, so you add them and keep the sign. If you have opposite signs, like right here we had -3 and 2, you subtract and you take the sign of the larger number. That's why we had a -1, okay? All right, so I hope that helps to clarify translations. Remember, translations are slides on the coordinate plane. And remember how to use your function notation. Right here, what am I going to do to my X? I'm going to subtract 1 from all those points. What am I going to do to the Y? I'm going to subtract 5 from all of those points.